Good evening. Welcome to the edition For What It's Worth. I'm your host, Tom Coletta, and this is a kind of an interesting subject. I haven't had this on before, but it's probably something you've maybe thought about doing because sometimes I'll see a house with one, some without one. We're going to clear this up tonight. It's about gutters, okay? And I know yourself, maybe you've got one on your house, or leaky ones, and myself, it's always been a mystery to me why I see some houses don't have them. And they're nice homes, and then some houses have them, and they're really elaborate. And we got a gentleman here who's an expert on this, and he's going to explain it all to you and why you need it, or maybe how much you need, or what you don't need, or whether it's sufficient what you already have. But I'd get up pad and paper because you're going to write a lot of things down here and questions and a telephone number and an email, and you well, anyways, while we're going any further, I have on tonight Steve Lebarski. Colonial, did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Of Colonial
Yes,
of GutterShell of New England.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Stevie.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay. Gutters. We know what they are. They're the thing that supposedly they go along the side of the house to
Right.
catch water.
Exactly. Keep the water
Okay.
away from the house.
Now, before we start, why is it I've seen some houses I'll drive by, they don't have them, and some do. Most do.
They're foolish.
They're foolish.
They're foolish.
Why?
A gutter, there's two things that hurt a house, fire and water. I can't help with the fire, but I can with the water. The idea is to keep the water away from the house,
The foundation.
the foundation, so that it doesn't get into the foundation and into the cellar.
And if they don't have it, that water is going to probably drip right alongside of your foundation.
Exactly.
And after a lot of rainstorms and winter and meltage, it's probably, and you're not trying to sell it. You're just telling someone you don't have to have one, but you're better off having gutters.
Absolutely, in the long run, yes. It's going to
Okay.
save your house.
All right. Now, gutters have changed, I imagine, through whatever people think of what they had on these old houses. And
The old wooden gutters.
The old wooden
which
gutters.
are now aluminum gutters.
Now aluminum.
Yes.
Okay, let's give a history here of what do you mean the wooden gutter?
The old wooden gutter was built into the fascia of the house, and it was a fantastic product. Every house had it, but what happens is if you didn't linseed oil it every 6 months and clean it out all the time, it would rot. And so the evolution came that as the houses started to get older, they came out with a seamless aluminum gutter, which is extruded right in your driveway.
Okay, now let's go dates now. When did this seamless aluminum gutter come?
Seamless aluminum gutter came in the 50s.
The 50s.
50s and 60s.
Okay.
And they would pull off the old wooden gutters, put on new fascia, and put this aluminum gutter
Yeah.
on it.
Okay.
And with the downspout, keeping the water away from the house,
Okay.
which is the important thing.
Now, does this work? I think things have changed. Did that work? Why don't we stay with it? Obviously,
We
we've.
still are with it, and it works fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What we've done is the age-old problem of cleaning out the gutter, taking the ladder out of the garage, putting it up, climbing the ladder. Our job is to keep the customer off the ladder because there are more accidents with ladders than anything else. Any insurance company will tell you that.
I know.
So our job is to keep the homeowner safe, keep them off the ladders.
See, that's what I've been trying to do is get my wife to go up the ladder, hoping she'll fall off. She never does, though. And I've got insurance. I said, geez, Steve, you ruined this whole night for me. Now my wife, there's no way, because I've been trying to get her up that ladder, and hopefully that thing will get a little wobbly and I can, go to Vegas.
There you go.
Okay, I had to put a joke in there. Everybody knows the way I do this show. Okay, Steve. So, how long have you been in the business? Because our audience out
I've
there,
been
the
in the
first thing they
business
want to
over
know.
10 years.
10 years, okay.
Over 10 years.
And gutter shell, what's the difference between, okay, we're going to go between different products. What's out there now on the market? And you explain.
I'll give you a quick history of how gutter covers came to be.
Right.
Until 1965, there was screening that people put up there.
And screening, explain that. You
Screening
had
is just
the gutter and it was like a kind of
and a screen on top.
Screen on top.
Screen mesh
hoping
on-
leaves won't go in.
Exactly. But pine needles are going to go in. From the maple trees, the whirlybirds are going to go in. Regular oak leaves will sit on top of it.
Yeah.
But they get brittle because they fall when they're brittle, and they'll fall in, break and fall in. So now you've got to take the screen out. You've got to clean it out. It didn't do anything. So in 1965, the first gutter cover was invented. And it was a fantastic product. It revolutionized the market. It kept people off the ladders and kept them safe. And that was the whole idea of it. And kept the water away from your house. This is an example of the original.
This is the original. We
This
get
is
in
the
there a little
original,
tight.
which is a one-loop system, it's called. Single loop, works on the
Okay.
principle of surface tension or capillary action.
Yeah.
And a fantastic product. And for 20 years, it was patented, and everybody bought it. Keeping safe, some people can't climb ladders. Other people, their ego wouldn't allow them to not stop climbing ladders. This gave them the excuse.
Yeah. I've seen some people on a ladder. It's funny you say that, Steve, because I've driven by a house and I see a guy up there who's in his middle to late 70s, and I go, this guy's an
Exactly.
idiot. And he's up at a Colonial. It's not like it's a little cape or something. And I
Right.
see the guy up there, and I know the guy saying to him, so his wife saying, honey, maybe we should do something else. And you know the male ego. I've been doing this for the last
Exactly.
40 years,
Exactly.
and the guy's things wobbling and everything else, and you can't tell him, right?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. So this was a fantastic product. When the patent ran out 20 years later, everybody did a knockoff of it. I mean, there's 40, 50 of them on the market.
Really?
Of various, but all the single loop system.
Yeah.
The only problem with the single loop system is that in a hard rain, a steep roof, or where two roofs meet and form a valley, which 85% of the homes have, it would overshoot every time.
And what do you mean by overshoot?
The water would miss, it wouldn't make the turn, and it would miss the gutter
Yeah.
and land on the ground by the foundation.
Oh, okay.
So again,
So it defeated purpose.
It defeated the whole purpose.
Huh.
So in 2003, a brilliant man out of Paterson, New Jersey, an engineer who owned and was the CEO of GutterShell, decided he was going to address this, A, the overshooting, and B, nobody had ever addressed ice dam situations before. So he decided to reinvent the wheel. 40 years had gone by of technology.
Wow.
And nobody ever did anything with the gutter covers. Our cell phones were outdated in 6 months. Our laptops in 3
Right.
months. Here's 40 years went by.
I know. My wife was outdated in 6 months after I married her. I know. It's just the way things are now. I try to tell people this. Okay, so what is different? Show this process of how this works, because it's very intricate here.
What he set out to do was A, cure the overshooting problem, and B, address the ice dam issue, which we've all had in the past. And this is ice dams. 90% of the ice dams stem from the gutter. You take a gutter that's uncovered, it's full of ice and snow, generally from Christmas to almost April, except for this season. And when it melts on the top, and it can't go anywhere because of the lip of the gutter and the angle of the roof, it can't go forward. It's still frozen down below.
Yeah.
When it refreezes again at night and expands, it creeps underneath backwards under the shingles,
Oh, wow.
creating an ice dam. So he set out to eliminate those two problems. By doing that, he invented the double drop system, so that this grabs 70% of the water, this grabs the balance.
That's a good camera shot, by the way. I want to compliment our cameraman. He's got a nice angle there. Okay.
We
Go on, Steve.
unconditionally guarantee that A, it'll never clog, most importantly.
Really?
Clog-free for the life of your home, transferable from one owner to the next. And B, that all of the water all the time will go in, it'll never overshoot, I don't care how hard it rains.
Okay, now the audience is looking, and when I talked about this show, we set this up, and I saw a little thing, and I noticed there's little, like, perforations here. Now, how is that going to keep, our audience is looking and say, wait a minute, I see something here. Why isn't a leaf going to get in there?
Because if you take this and look at it the way the trees look at it, you put it down on the ground,
Yeah.
there's no openings.
Okay.
You see no openings here.
Right.
The audience sees no openings
Right.
here, so nothing gets
Okay.
in it.
Cool.
And this is guaranteed, no pine needles, no whirlybirds, no leaves, no birds, no squirrels. Just like your gutter has an end cap, GutterShell has an end cap. So it's a totally enclosed water system. And he succeeded in ending the clogging. He succeeded in ending the overshooting. And because this only has the old one opening, it's dead air space on the
Okay,
inside.
yeah, I
So
see.
it didn't address the ice dams. This has two openings. So you've got an air intake and an air outflow. So you've got a circulation of air, cold air in the wintertime, if you will. What happens is you produce heat in your house. The heat rises as high as it can get.
Yeah.
When it can't go any higher, you've hit the insulation, there's more heat pushing on it, so every home loses just a tiny bit of heat out their fascia board. When that warm air is introduced to cold swirling air, convection takes place. It speeds up the spin and heats up the whole inside.
Okay, convection, for people that didn't go to Harvard, explain what that word is.
It's a phenomenon of physics
Okay.
that just speeds up the spin and heats up the inside when warm air meets cold air.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that if you can see this,
Get in here tight.
it'll show you a gutter over here that looks like your own gutter
There it is.
at home,
Good. Very
not
good.
covered.
Nice shot.
This is the beginning of the convection. That wasn't wiped away. Here's a side cut of it. What happens is 24 to 48 hours, depending on the intensity of the snow and how much we get, it could be gone in 24 hours. It could take a few days. But the gutters are clear again. So when we get the warm January thaw days, when we get the warm sun in February, when we get the warm sun in March, the water melts, the ice melts and snow melts, goes into the gutter, which never has any ice or snow in it when it's covered, and down the downspout, giving it no ability to create an ice dam.
Okay, let me jump in and we can jump around. When I get a thought, I always jump in and interrupt, but I got to get it off my chest.
That's okay.
Now, we had a couple of weird winters. Like this past winter, like you said, there was the
winter
winter that
that
didn't
wasn't,
happen. But
right.
the previous winter, January and the first 2 weeks of February, forget it. You couldn't
Exactly.
even move down the street.
Right.
How did that affect you guys? Then we'll go back to the ice storm. How did you guys come in? What did you get calls for?
Unless you shoveled your roof, nothing worked that
This
winter.
is this previous, that was the winter of 2011.
Yes.
January.
January of 2011.
February we did.
Not so much in February. February was okay.
Yeah.
January of 2011, there wasn't the product on the market that worked. I don't care if you had the wires, which
Really?
are unsafe in my
Yeah.
opinion. Nothing worked. Okay, that's just the way it was, unless you shoveled.
Shoveled, not-
And most people were up there shoveling their roofs.
Right.
Or hiring somebody to shovel
somebody
the
to
roofs.
come in.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the exception to the rule. That happened in 2011, and it happened in 1994. Never happened again.
Okay.
Or previous.
Now, the ice storm, what was that, 2008, 2009? We had that
Yep.
big ice storm.
Yes.
What was the gutter you guys come into that?
Again, the convection system works
Yeah.
so that it heats the inside and melts what's on top. Because it's aluminum, it's a conductor.
Because I
melts
noticed
what's
some
on
people, they had
top.
icicles, they were like 20 feet long. You could go by houses, remember that? It was like unbelievable, the ice there that was forming around the gutter and hanging down. And so how was this would prevent that?
No, Tom.
No.
I have to tell you that we live in New England. Icicles are a product of New England.
Yeah. But that's not a big deal. That's not going to hurt
It's
your house.
not going to hurt your house.
That's just what people want to know.
It's not going to hurt your house.
But what will hurt your house is if you get excess water.
Excess water, or if you get ice dams that
Ice
rise up
Right.
from the gutter, and then the leaking into the house.
Okay.
And every insurance company will tell you that they spent a fortune the winter before, 2011, doling out checks to people that had their ceilings ruined.
Really?
And their insulation ruined. So this helps to prevent that.
Yeah.
It's not the end-all, be-all, but it's far better than this original cover
Right.
or any other knockoff on the market.
Okay.
That's the difference.
All right. So anyways, you got your pen and paper out there, whatever, your computer. Can we get up there? How to get in touch with Steve Sheehan? There you go. And you can say it to the crowd out here, what's your hours, and contact you.
We're available Monday through Sunday. We're available. You can call us. We've got people that answer the phones. If you've got a problem, they'll book you an appointment, and somebody will come out and give you a free estimate and handle your problems and end your misery. It'll get you off the ladders. It will get you up to date in what you should have, keeping the water away from your home, keeping the debris out of your gutter, and that's a guarantee.
Okay. Now, you guys, someone wants to call you. Let's say something. He told me an interesting story about this, a golf ball. We'll get to that thing. It was funny.
Remember that
about that. He told me a golf ball story. It's funny, and I'll have him tell it in a couple of minutes, but it's interesting. So, say something does happen. You'll come right up. In other words, if something does happen, you're right there.
If you think there's a clog, you think anything is wrong,
Right.
we send the
You
truck.
feel the water's not coming down.
We send the truck.
Really?
I will tell you that our track record from a company standpoint is that we're not only last 2010, 2011 won the Super Service Award for Angie's List, which is
Yeah.
important, but also checking the Better Business Bureau, they will tell you that in the last 36 months, because they go every 3 years, that GutterShell has never had a complaint,
Wow.
not one complaint. And that's just because we care. We go back if there's a problem.
Okay, and you guys who work for you, do the work, they work for you directly, or do you?
They work for me exclusively. We're a
Exclusively.
licensed contractor. We're insured, and we know what we're doing. And my guys have been with me a while. They do a great job.
Okay, someone's out here now and they says, geez, hon, we should do this. I'm sick of you going up on a ladder, or me, and it's been a mess. And we've had the people come up, and that's another thing too. Don't those people will call when they do have someone come and clean. Everybody wants their gutters clean when it's too late. It's the end of October,
Exactly.
November.
Exactly.
And they want to wait till that last leaf comes down, and you can't get anybody, right?
You can't
Explain
get
that to the
anybody-
audience,
you
right?
can't get anybody.
I
and
know,
what
'cause
you've
it's
got
happened to me.
inside is frozen slush.
Right.
It's very difficult to clean, but you can't get anybody. So the time to do this is now, and not wait until then, when you're in a panic, because I'm so far stretched out that I might not be able to get to you this year.
Okay, explain now how long it would take. Someone's out there and they're writing this down, and you're probably going to get a call or an email or something. Someone says you'd come up. They call. How long would before you come and give an estimate?
I have a salesman there within 3 days,
Really? Okay.
always.
And let's say your average house. What would you call your average house size-wise? How long would it take to install?
Install the average, we do, each crew does 2 houses a day at least.
Oh, really?
Yes, I send them out in crews of 3 so that they're not there and you got to put them to bed and feed them. They finish the job and they're on their way.
Good.
The first thing we do is thoroughly clean your gutters out, clean your downspouts out, give them a little TNC. We give them a complete tune-up. Make sure they're tight to the fascia. Make sure all your elbows for your downspouts are screwed on properly. Make sure the pitches are perfect. Make sure the weight of the ice and snow hasn't put any bows in. We take the bows out, and then we install it. So our job is to give you a working water system that will never clog. So that actually, in this very busy world, you never have to think about a gutter again.
Okay, I'm trying to think of my audience. They're saying, but I have a different sort of roof. There's different types of roof.
There's a lot of different types of roofs. There's asphalt roofs. There's metal roofs. There's slate roofs.
Slate?
We do them all.
You do them all?
We do them all. There is no job that we can't do.
Really?
Absolutely.
A slate roof, I think that would be kind of difficult getting under that
We
slate.
don't go under the slate. We never go
Oh,
under
you
the
don't
slate.
go under it?
We'll abut the slate, or we can do what's called a fascia mount, where we're just taking the back, cutting a piece off, twisting it up, and screwing it into the fascia. Never want to damage or touch the roof. We also do rubber roofs. So there is no job we can't do.
Oh, good.
And everybody can have this as long as they've got an aluminum gutter. That's the key. If they don't, I'll have my gutter truck in their driveway and make it right in their driveway, custom made.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So in other words, you can put a brand new gutter in, start right from scratch,
Absolutely.
and go right from point A right to Z.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
But if
That's
they've
good.
got an aluminum gutter now, we'll clean it, tune it up, and it's fine, and install the cover right over it.
Okay. Now, does you work year round if the weather's okay? Like in other words, say it's December or something, because sometimes there's businesses people say after December, January, it's too cold or whatever. As long as the weather's clean,
If
like
the
this
weather
past
is-
winter.
This past winter, we worked
Yeah.
all the way around.
All the way around, yeah.
But there are winters where weather sensitive. I don't let the guys climb the ladders in the ice, in the snow, in a rain like today.
Yeah.
We weren't out working.
Okay.
So that's we're very cautious about that because insurance is very expensive. We've
Now-
had no claims, which is another thing, and an important thing.
Really?
Also, so we've had no accidents.
Yeah. Now,
But we're insured
another thing,
for it.
color. Women are very particular about color. What have you got? In other words, someone comes up and says, I want this. Well, how many colors do you have to choose
We
from?
have 22 different colors.
22?
We can match the color of every gutter or every roof.
Really?
Yes, we've got everything.
Any color. That's good.
Any color.
Yeah.
When I
And,
started in the business, there was only one color, and that was white.
and that was it?
Now there's 22.
There's 22.
Yes.
Now, do you go under the first, like in other words, say the, what do they call it?
Row of shingles.
Row shingles, yeah. Do you go under the first or the second? Because I know some companies, they go under the second or the first. How do you
Right.
guys?
95% 95% of the time, 99% of the time, we go under the first row, which makes us very inconspicuous. You won't even see the product.
Yeah, 'cause
many times I get a call at my office that said, Steve, I thought you were coming today. And I'll say, you want a cell phone or a portable phone? Walk outside and talk to me. And as they walk outside, they look up and they go, oh, yeah, now I see
Yeah, that's
it.
something I want to say about what Steve's product here, is because sometimes you might not want to do this because you think it's going to make your home unattractive. You love the idea, there's no more ladders and all that bull with the leaves, and you'd love that idea, but then you say, oh, this thing I'm going to have that's covering, maybe it's going to take the attract. Steve showed me some pictures, you wouldn't believe it. They're beautiful. You'd never know it. And a matter of fact, in a way, they kind of enhance your house.
It enhances
It
the
actually
beauty.
gives
Right.
it more body. I find
Exactly.
it gives it a little more of a look.
It really
actually
does.
it's good looking.
It hides the gutter.
Right, it does.
Which are not pretty
Right,
things.
exactly. Because I think the audience, I would think that myself says, this is going to look ugly. And it really does.
You won't even notice it.
Yeah.
You won't even know it's on the house.
And now, okay, now the water, you say there's a spout that you can have that will take the water, say 3 or 4 feet away from your house?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If your backyard's on a pitch or something or whatever.
We pitch it so that we extend it out so that it's on the down pitch.
Yeah. And so everything will stay away
The
from
water's away.
Stay away. Yeah, has there been problems? Have you heard of this? People didn't do this, didn't have good gutters, and they got water in their cellar, and it ruined. It's happened all
Absolutely.
the time. Huh?
Half your audience has that.
Really?
Half
Yeah.
your audience. And not only does it, you get water in the basement, you've got mold. The whole steps, all the
Yep.
steps are just hazardous to your health and the health of your home.
Yep. No.
So it really, it's an incredible product that works and is guaranteed to
Yeah,
work
see now,
for the
explain
life
that
of,
guarantee, because someone out there saying, okay, in 3 years this thing breaks and I'm screwed, I give them a call and they're not here, blah, 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 right?
It's heavy gauge aluminum, 0.27 gauge, which is the thickest on the market, and we unconditionally guarantee for the life of your home, transferable from one owner to the next. You'll never get a clog, you'll never get an overshooting of water. So you'll never have to think about your gutter again.
Never ever again.
Never again.
Okay, I want to tell the story because the time's flying. I want you to take our little quiz here. Again, he's afraid of the quiz like everybody else more than in the show. About the guy found something and you got a call. You had put some gutters up and he says, I don't know what it is, blah blah blah. But tell the story. You tell it better than I do.
It was 15 minutes from my office. We had installed somebody. It was probably a year ago that he had it on. And I sent the truck out, a crew right away to find out what's wrong. This is screwed down normally.
Yeah.
Unscrewed it, they looked in, and there was a golf ball inside.
A golf ball in a gutter. Think about this.
Now,
okay?
being the first thing we do is clean your gutter out, how did that golf ball get in there? So, and my men are calling me from the office. So I take the 15-minute ride, I want to see for myself. I get out there, and sure enough, there's a golf ball in there. The homeowner's standing there, but his garage door is open. And there's a set of golf clubs sitting there. And I said, are those your golf clubs? He goes, no, that's my son. I said, how old is your son? He said, 14. The only thing we could surmise is his son put a golf ball down next to the downspout and tried to putt it up the downspout. And he hit a perfect shot, and it stayed in.
True story.
That's a true story.
The father shoots 108.
Yeah, that's right.
And the son can get a ball up the spout into the gutter. Amazing. The father should take some lessons. So before we close out and we do a thing, is there anything else you want to say to our audience? A good time to do this, to call you guys?
The best time to do this is now.
Now. We're in
Now.
the spring of 2012. Don't wait, because
Most people
you're
wait
going to
till-
write this down and you're going to put it on top of your refrigerator or something and say, let's give them a call in September.
Exactly. In September, we're straight out. September, October, November, December, we're crammed and jammed. So the time to do it and the best price to do it is now.
Yeah.
There are no discounts in the fall when everybody is throwing money at us.
Sure.
So the time to do it is now. The cheapest and least expensive time is now.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to get going here. Anything else you want to, before you take a little quiz?
I think that we pretty much covered everything. I say
And-
every house should have GutterShell on it and stay away from the ladders. Everybody either has their own story or somebody else's story that they know, a friend or relative that has fallen off a ladder.
Yeah, sure.
We eliminate that.
One more thing before you take the quiz. What's worse, pines or leaves? What do you get?
Pine needles are the worst.
Are they?
If you can keep pine needles out, you can keep anything out.
Really?
We guarantee unconditionally to keep pine needles out.
Yep. No, this great guy, good guy, and he's got a great product here. So really, and I'm not trying to push it. He's got a great product. He proved it to me, showed it to me, and that's why I have him on the show here. But you really do need gutters. You can find a lot of things in gutters. By the way, Shannon, my producer, I was walking down the street once. I looked in the gutter, and there she was. We've been together for 8 years. Just shows you what you can find. It's an amazing job. You ready, Stevie?
I'm ready.
Okay, buddy? Okay.
I'm ready.
Favorite all-time TV show?
Favorite all-time TV show? I would have to go along with Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke, okay. 21 years, the longest, did you know that? The longest show
longest
ever.
running.
Bonanza was 20.
Yep.
That's 21 ever.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know that. Favorite all-time movie?
Braveheart.
Braveheart. I don't recall.
Braveheart. With
Brave-
Mel Gibson.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. Okay, very good. Favorite actor?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, very common one. Favorite actress?
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've had
And
a
I
few
can say
times.
that.
Okay, you can say that. Favorite music? You only listen to one type of music.
The
band.
Beatles.
The Beatles, yeah, that's common. Very good choice. Okay, one person you admire most. Could be anybody. It's just somebody you've always admired.
That's a tough question. That's besides myself.
Yeah, give me
Is that correct?
You got a bigger ego than me. I'm in my competition here. You're right. Yeah, anybody. Yeah, who do you think? Just could be anybody. You know, sports figure or someone who you always.
I guess JFK.
Okay, good answer. Favorite food? You can only eat one thing the rest of your life. What would it be?
It would probably be veal parmesan.
Veal palm. Okay, very good. Favorite vacation place?
As a matter of fact, I just came from it, Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Very good. Okay. What's one thing you like about the Worcester area?
I've lived here all my life, and I find it's home. It's homey. There might be 165 to 170,000 people here, but I think I know them all.
Okay. So it feels like a small town, even in a big city.
Exactly.
Okay. What's one thing that bothers you about the Worcester area?
I can't find downtown.
You can't find downtown? How'd you get to our studio?
I know you're on Main
GPS
Street.
Oh, that's
I'm just
good.
wondering where the downtown is.
He started looking for the place 3 days ago. and he
Shacks,
just got
where
here.
Shacks is still here.
Yeah, it's still
where
here.
Pratt, Denholmes.
Oh, you're going back to the old days.
I'm going back to the old
Okay.
days when you could walk down the street and there's a store.
Yeah, that's right. You should. Hey, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thank you, Tom.
Got it?
Thank you, Tom.
GutterShell. Here's the man. Give him a call.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Good job.